color.
Presenting the all-new, sleeker, more powerful Solara. Who can resist? Looking to put more miles in your tank? All Shell gasolines are now specially formulated to give you better mileage, helping to take you farther.
Stay tuned to the Weather Channel for continuing coverage on Isabel, right after your local on the 8s.
Currently in your area, 67 degrees with light rain. The forecast for your area. Your extended forecast.
Welcome back to our continued coverage of the landfall of Hurricane, which once was Hurricane Isabel. These are pictures from Virginia Beach. The pier actually was damaged, and people again took souvenirs of the historic pier as parts of it were smashed as the high waves and strong winds battered the pier all afternoon long. Well, good evening, and thanks for joining us for this special edition of the Weather Channel Evening Edition. I'm Paul Goodlow.
And I'm Jennifer Lopez. Isabel is digging deeper inland at this hour, and it is headed just to the west of Washington, D.C.
So what can our nation's capital expect? Well, expect more rain tonight and also more wind as we head throughout the day on Friday. The wind and rain, well, the wind slowing down, but the wind not slowing down really until Saturday, and plenty of sunshine returns for the entire weekend for a good chunk of the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic.
But as we look at the current radar right now from Isabel, a lot of rain is coming down in through the mountains of Virginia. In fact, we have numerous areas reporting some flooding and along Interstate 81. Some of the cities across the region are reporting some very heavy rainfall from Isabel. And Isabel's impacts are very far-reaching, so we have a team of meteorologists stationed along the coast tonight.
And they've been bringing you live reports throughout the day.
In fact, Mike Seidel is in Virginia Beach, Virginia, but just down the road is Jim Cantore. He's in the Outer Banks of North Carolina in Kill Devil Hills.
And Jeff Morrow is on Radio Island, North Carolina, and Bill Keneally is to their north in Ocean City, Maryland. Let's start with Jim Cantore, our storm tracker. Again, you've been battling some big waves and some big winds today. Tell us about your battles earlier with some of that storm surge.
Well, Paul, I got to tell you, kind of surprised actually at the kind of waves that we dealt with in through here. I have not ever seen the huge waves. I mean, we're talking about some 20-footers just rolling in and just chewing away at the beach. As a matter of fact, if you typically walk off of this deck on a day where we hadn't had a hurricane beforehand or a nor'easter, you'd walk straight out onto the beach. Well, today, if you walk down there, you'll drop about 6 feet, because we saw 6 feet of the beach just get chewed right away. Needless to say, folks, it was one heck of a day. And let's go ahead and relive our date with Isabel. The long-awaited Hurricane Isabel roared into the Outer Banks of North Carolina midday Thursday. Those residents who stayed behind anxiously watched the storm.
That's why I stayed here. I didn't evacuate because if I got off the island, it might take me a couple days to get back.
The first hurricane in 4 years lashed the area with high winds and heavy rains. But the biggest problem was the unforgiving surf, with waves up to 20 feet smashing through the dunes.
Well, we were driving on the road, which is now about a foot underwater, and checking a property of mine down a little bit further. We got right between two dunes where the wave was coming across, and it took the car, just flipped it right over.
In this instance, no one was hurt, but the power of water is incredible, as our Weather Channel team found out.
Right now! Jeez!
The camera was damaged, but we learned a valuable lesson. The water caused widespread flooding throughout the Outer Banks, and there was some structural damage to houses, businesses, and hotels due to the hurricane-force winds. And with the potential of the sun coming out tomorrow, it'll be interesting to see just how bad it is structurally and also on the ocean side as well. Curfew tonight until noon tomorrow. Officials will assess the situation before anyone is allowed back in of non-essential personnel. We'll keep you posted here from Kill Devil Hills. Right now, let's go down the road a piece. And I cannot believe I had not asked this gentleman this question earlier. Jeff, I know your parents are on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. They live there. Did they evacuate, or how are they doing tonight?
Jim, they're actually at my home back in Atlanta. They did evacuate, and I'm very glad they did, because down where they live in Buxton and that whole area, the southern parts of Hatteras Island, really got hit hard, and we're kind of anxious to see exactly how much damage there was there, and also on Ocracoke Island. Then when you get over on this side, you get over towards Cedar Island, there was a lot of flooding, and where we were here around the Morehead City and Beaufort area in North Carolina, well, we had a lot of wind. And let's go ahead and show you what the situation was a little bit earlier today, when around the noon hour, when the eye of Hurricane Isabel was passing by about 30 miles just offshore. We were in the western eye wall, had some very strong northerly winds, gusting upwards of 80 and maybe close to 90 miles an hour. That did pull down a lot of trees, knocked out the power for a time, but both Beaufort and Morehead City both have power now, although right where we are here on Radio Island, still without power, one of the few areas that are still without power. So again, it was quite a day today as Isabel went on by. The long-expected hurricane is now ashore, and now the cleanup begins. Now let's go to our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons, and he has the latest on where this fast-moving tropical storm is.
I sure do, and it's in Virginia right now, Jeff, and let's have a look at the rainfall potential here. We had a rainfall potential map drawn here, and we had implicated some heavy rain in the mountains of western Virginia. Well, it turns out our severe weather expert Dr. Forbes has been analyzing the radar data very carefully and has realized that Augusta County up here in northwestern Virginia has accumulated 14 inches of rain, and there's some evacuations associated with that heavy rain. It turns out that same area, that same county area, had more than 27 inches of rain during Hurricane Camille in 1969. That was a Category 5 that roared across the Gulf Coast states and flooded portions of Virginia a long time ago. So we still have some more rain to go there too. Let's have a look at the radar here. Now the area of interest is right up here, just to the northwest of Charlottesville. Right up in this area is where the flooding is occurring right now. So be careful, because we still have about 3 to 4, maybe even 5 more hours of heavy rain coming your way. Probably about 3 or 4 more hours. And the heaviest rain has not yet got there. Some of that wind is moving upslope over those mountains and just wringing out all that warm, moist air from that tropical cyclone. So heavy rain there. That's a fickleness of even a fast-moving tropical cyclone near orography. It's very hard to tell where that heavy rain is going to fall. But right now, it's right in that area. The circulation center there moving to the north. In the meantime, to the south, North Carolina, you're looking in good shape. And along the east coast, the waves...
The price has shocked you.